I have $1,000 in savings. I am 36 years old. I am a spine surgeon at Rush University Medical Center in Chicago, and I'm going to walk you through how I make and spend my money. I know what my mom would say if she saw that number. She'd be on the phone with my tia in Guadalajara in about 4 minutes. Because where I come from, Pilsen, grew up on 18th Street, $52,000 in savings on this salary is embarrassing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so let's start with income. Pre-tax annually. My salary is $485,000 a year. One job, one employer. Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. I am a spine surgeon. I do minimally invasive spinal fusions, decompressions, disc replacements. I operate 3 days a week, see patients in clinic 2 days a week, and I am on call roughly every 4th weekend, which is its own kind of psychological experience. I don't have the time to explain right now. Bonus? 0. My comp structure is straight salary. No RVU bonuses, no production bonuses. Some orthosurgeons at private practices are pulling in extra through productivity bonuses. Mine is a clean number, $485,000. Dividend income? 0. I have money in a 401k and a Roth IRA, but I'm not pulling dividends. Everything is just sitting there, growing. Or I hope it is. I don't check it as often as a person should. Total pre-tax income, $485,000 a year. Now let's talk about what the government does to that number. Pre-tax monthly income is $40,417. Monthly 401k contribution. I max it out. The 2026 limit is $23,500 a year, which is about $1,958 a month. I max this every year. This is the one financial discipline I have not broken. My residency attendings drilled this into me. Max the 401k first, Elena. The rest is negotiable. They were right. FICA, Social Security and Medicare. Social Security is 6.2% up to the wage base of $176,100. So that's $10,918 a year. About $910 a month. Medicare is 1.45% on everything, plus an additional 0.9% on income over $200,000. Total Medicare, $9,598 a year, which is about $800 a month. Combined FICA is roughly $1,710 a month. Federal taxes. I am deep in the 35% marginal bracket. Everything above $256,225 gets hit at 35%. My effective federal rate after the standard deduction and 401k comes out to about $124,660 a year. Monthly, that's roughly $10,388. Illinois state taxes. Flat 4.95%. No brackets, no gains. Just 4.95% on everything. On my income after 401k, that works out to about $22,844 a year, or $1,904 a month. The one thing I'll say is, and I say this every time someone from New York asks me why I'm still in Chicago, no city income tax. None. New York City doctors are paying an extra 3.9% city tax on top of everything. I am not. That difference on my income is about $19,000 a year. That's real money. Post-tax monthly take-home pay, $24,457, which, again, I know what that sounds like. But just keep watching. Total annual take-home pay, $293,484. Total monthly take-home, $24,457. Okay, responsible spending. Let's go. Rent. I live in the West Loop. 1 bedroom in a newer high-rise on Randolph Street. $3,400 a month. Before anyone says anything, I'm a spine surgeon on call every fourth weekend. I need to be able to get to Rush in under 10 minutes. I take an Uber every single time, regardless of weather. And the hospital is literally 7 minutes away. I am not apologizing for this apartment. The building has a rooftop. I have been on that rooftop twice. It's fine. Groceries. $480 a month. I eat at home maybe 8 times a month. The other 22 days, I am either at the hospital, coming from the hospital, or too tired to look at a stove. But I buy groceries with good intentions. Whole Foods on Halsted. Every 2 weeks. $240 of vegetables and salmon, and that expensive olive oil that I genuinely believe makes everything better. Some of it gets used. Utilities. $190 a month. Electric, gas, internet. Xfinity, unfortunately. Building does good windows. My heating bill in winter is not the horror story my parents' house on 18th Street was, where the radiators would bang at 3 a.m. like someone was trying to escape. Student loans. $0. I finished paying them off 14 months ago. $310,000 in med school debt. I was throwing $8,000 a month at it for almost 4 years after finishing residency. It is gone. That's actually the second best day of my life after the day I matched into ortho. Credit card debt. $0. I do not carry a balance. My card is paid in full every month, which is the one genuinely impressive thing about my financial life, given what you're about to see in the spending section. Investments outside the 401k. $1,200 a month. I opened a brokerage account last year and I put $1,200 into an index fund every month. This was my New Year's resolution in 2025 and I actually kept it, which I want acknowledged. Laundry. In unit. $0. Car. $0. I do not own a car. I grew up taking the Pink Line. I live 7 minutes from the hospital. I take Ubers everywhere. I have not owned a car since I sold my 2011 Civic before I moved to Chicago for residency. And I have felt zero regret about this, except in February, when it's -12 and I'm waiting for an Uber at midnight after a call shift. Public transportation. About $40 a month. I occasionally take the L on weekends when I feel like being a normal person. The Green Line from Clinton down to Chinatown for dim sum. The Pink Line back to Pilsen to see my mom, which I do every Sunday that I am not on call. Total responsible spending. $5,310 a month. Irresponsible stuff. Okay, here we go. Fun and random. $800 a month. This is a catch-all that includes Bulls tickets. I go maybe 4 or 5 times a season. The United Center is close. I've been a Bulls fan since before the dynasty, but I'm not going to pretend those years didn't ruin me a little. Concerts at the Riviera or Thalia Hall. The occasional comedy show at Second City. Random stuff I buy online at 11 p.m. when I've just finished a 12-hour call shift and my judgment is impaired. Last month, it was a $180 cashmere throw I absolutely did not need. The month before, it was a knife set. I already had knives. Alcohol. $350 a month. I go out maybe 2 or 3 times a week, usually after a good case or a rough case, depending on the week. The Violet Hour, when I want to feel human. Drum Bar, when a friend is in town. I drink maybe 2 cocktails. I'm not throwing down at a River North club at this point in my life. But cocktails in Chicago are $17 now, minimum, and it adds up faster than you'd think. Ubers and Lyfts, $620 a month. I told you, every single time. Hospital to apartment, apartment to hospital, restaurant to apartment, airport. I took an Uber 112 times last month. I counted. It was 30 degrees and I have no shame about any of it. Total irresponsible. $1,770 a month. Bonus spending. The personality section. Eating out and delivery. $2,100 a month. This is the number. This is the one that my mother, who made chicken mole for 6 people on $200 a week cannot look at without physically needing to sit down. But I have not cooked a real meal since the second year of residency, and I'm not starting now. Girl and the goat on a Wednesday because I finished a complex fusion and I deserve it. Boca when my friend is visiting from New York and I want to show off. Monteverde because the pasta is the closest thing to a spiritual experience I've had outside the OR. And then 3 DoorDash orders a week because at 9 p.m. after clinic I am not cooking. I'm ordering the birria tacos from a place in Pilsen that my mom would be furious I'm paying delivery fees to eat instead of just calling her. Travel. $1,100 a month averaged. I take 1 big trip a year and 2 or 3 smaller ones. The big trip last year was Oaxaca, which, yes, I'm Mexican American, yes, I know I could have gone years ago, but between undergrad, med school, residency, fellowship, and paying off loans, I was in my mid-30s before I had the money and the time simultaneously. It was worth every dollar. The smaller trips are usually a long weekend. Harbor Country in Michigan in the summer. A medical conference I turn into a vacation. Or once, memorably, a flight to New York just to eat at a specific restaurant. Gym. $240 a month. Equinox on West Madison. I know what it costs. I stand at an OR table for 8 hours doing surgery that requires my back and shoulders and core to not fail me. This is not a luxury. It is structural maintenance. That's what I tell myself. It's also a very nice gym. Hair. $180 a month. I go to a salon in Wicker Park every 5 weeks. Color and cut. It's $160 plus tip. I've been going to the same stylist for 3 years. Her name is Brie. I would do anything for Brie. Clothes. $500 a month. Okay, look. I wear scrubs 5 days a week. But after residency, after years of wearing a hospital badge as my primary identity, I like getting dressed now. Aritzia, Banana Republic when I'm being responsible, sometimes Oak Street when I'm not. I bought a coat in November at a boutique on Milwaukee Avenue that I am choosing not to state the price of on camera. It's a beautiful coat. Coffee. $210 a month. 2 coffees a day. First one at Intelligentsia on Randolph at 6:30 a.m. before I scrub in. Second one from whatever cart or kiosk is nearest to the OR around noon. I have never and will never bag coffee at home. This is a line I have drawn. Subscriptions. $140 a month. Netflix, Spotify, iCloud, The Athletic, because I need the sports coverage, a medical journal subscription for CME credits, ChatGPT, and Hulu, which I keep forgetting I'm paying for. Total bonus spending. $4,470 a month. Savings. Here's where I have to talk about the number. 401k balance. $87,000. I've been maxing it for 6 years, since I finished fellowship. The earlier years, I wasn't contributing as aggressively while I was paying down loans. But it's growing. Cash savings, $52,000. High yield savings account. This is it. This is the number. On $485,000 a year, after 6 years in practice, I have $52,000 in cash. I did the math on this more than once, and I'll tell you exactly where it went. 4 years of $8,000 a month loan payments. That's $384,000 right there. The lifestyle, which we've covered. And honestly, the survivor's guilt thing, which I don't know how to fully explain on camera, but I'll try. I grew up on 18th Street in Pilsen. My dad worked at a factory in Bridgeport for 23 years. My mom cleaned houses. We were not poor, but we were the kind of family that felt every dollar. I am now, and this is still strange to say out loud, the highest earner in my entire extended family. Not just my immediate family, my entire family. By a lot. And that comes with this feeling, this pull to just give. My parents' house needed a new roof last year. I paid for it. My cousin needed help with a deposit on an apartment. I helped. My tia's car was dying. I helped. It's not resentment. I want to do it. I genuinely do. but it adds up, and none of it shows up on a spreadsheet, and none of it is going to stop. Other investments. $14,200. That's 14 months of the $1,200 per month brokerage account I started last year. Index funds. Growing slowly. Total savings. $153,200 when you add it all together, which is better than it sounds when I say the cash number alone. But I'm 36, and I'm starting to think seriously about what the next 20 years look like. I want to buy in Chicago eventually, maybe Hyde Park, close enough to the hospital, a real place with a kitchen I might actually use. The property taxes in Cook County are their own kind of comedy, but I'm not ready to leave. This city made me. Rush gave me my career. Pilsen is home. My mom is on 18th Street. Short term. I want $100,000 in cash within the next 2 years. Stop draining savings for one-time expenses. The brokerage account stays. The 401k stays maxed. The eating out budget is... Look, it's probably not going to change, but everything else gets tighter. Long term, buy a place in Chicago. Travel more intentionally. I want to go to Spain. I want to see where my family is from in Jalisco. I want to take a trip that isn't attached to a medical conference or a weekend where I'm half checking my phone for pages, and keep operating. I love the work. There's nothing like it. Fixing someone's spine, watching them stand up straight again after years of pain. I know how that sounds. I've been saying it since I was 22, and I still mean every word. I'm a spine surgeon in Chicago. I make $485,000 a year. And this is how I spend my money.